Hello and welcome. This is Business Now, reaching you live from iBrandTV News Studio in Lagos, Nigeria. Coming up, World Bank says Nigeria's debt at the risk of becoming unsustainable in the event of macro-fiscal shocks. Hike in COVID-19 cases cripple small businesses in South Africa. Apple makes history as first firm to hit $3 trillion market value. Train services suffer major hit in UK as COVID triggers high level of staff absence. Glad to have you join us, and here are business stories we're tracking at this hour. I am Perpetua Fasami Peter. Now the news in detail. The World Bank says Nigeria's debt, which may be considered sustainable for now, is vulnerable and costly. According to the Washington-based global financial institution, the country's debt is also at risk of becoming unsustainable in the event of macro-fiscal shocks. The bank emphasized Nigeria's debt remains sustainable, albeit vulnerable and costly, especially due to large and growing financing from the Central Bank of Nigeria. While currently the debt stock of 27% of the gross domestic product is considered sustainable, the World Bank warns that any macro-fiscal shock can push debt to unsustainable levels. The bank further noted that the nation's cost of debt servicing disrupts public investment and critical service delivery spending. Governor Nyesom Wike of Rivers State says it is hypocritical for President Muhammadu Buhari to sign what he called the heavily padded and unimplementable 2022 budget passed by the National Assembly, but decline assent to the Electoral Act Amendment Bill. Wike made this known when he paid a New Year visit to Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi of Enugu State in his hometown Oba in Udenu local government area of the state. The governor said the speed at which the president signed the 2022 budget, which he had described as unimplementable, was curious and smacks of insensitivity to the plight of ordinary Nigerians. The governor, who opined that the All Progressives Party, APC-led federal government had failed Nigeria, urged the people of Enugu to speak out against the poor governance the country was experiencing. Federal government ministries, departments and agencies, especially financial services regulators, are to invest 1.54 trillion in 5 years to boost liquidity in the financial services sector. According to the federal government's National Development Plan 2021 to 2025, the government is planning to raise the liquidity thresholds in each segment of the financial system to the levels that will support the growth and development of the country. The investment is also expected to strategically optimize all components of the nation's balance sheet to unlock the liquidity required to support the stability, growth, and transformation of the economy. The federal government said it wants the total value of the payment system to be worth 500% of the GDP by 2025, while the total private sector credit as a percentage of the GDP is expected to increase from 13.21% to 25%. According to the document, the investment of these government institutions will be leveraged to organize and support the private sector to realize the goals of the NDP. The Central Bank of Nigeria and others, particularly the financial services regulators, would invest 1.54 trillion naira over 5 years to increase liquidity in the financial services sector. The government intends to boost the liquidity thresholds in each segment of the financial system to levels that will sustain the country's growth and development according to the federal government's NDP 2021 to 2025. The investment is also expected to optimize all aspects of the country's balance sheet to free up the liquidity needed to support the economy's stability, growth, and transformation. E-Naira, the recently introduced digital currency of the Central Bank of Nigeria, is rapidly gaining acceptance, especially in the northern part of Nigeria, as the Nigerian Apex Bank makes financial inclusion one of its top priorities. Google Trends indicates that Africa's first central bank digital currency has its strongest interest in the core northern part of Nigeria, with Borno leading with a perfect score of 100, followed by Sokoto, Gombe, Taraba, and Zamfara. Ironically, Lagos, Nigeria's major economic hub, misses out of the top 25 on e-Naira interest. In our expansion to the grassroots, unbanked, underbanked and banked will rule the banking market in the year 2022. With the launch of the e-Naira, the Apex Bank had raised the innovation bar within the past year. Nigerians have called on the federal government to create an enabling environment for business to strive in the year 2022. While setting an agenda for President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration in other areas of preference, the group of respondents said security of lives and property should be given priority. iBrandTV has the details.
The residents were expressing optimism on government's ability to ensure a better standard of living for Nigerians, said in real terms citizens are faced with difficulties. They believed that for the country to be a better place for all, security of life and property should be government's priority for the year 2022.
Security of life and property. Because before, Nigeria is not known for kidnapping. So this kidnapping and insurgency has been a thing of concern for us as Nigerians. So the federal government should put things in place, as well as put our hands on deck to make sure they bring an end to insecurity in our country, Nigeria. And if they'll be able to do that, that would bring joy to the face of many Nigerians.
We are expecting government for proper security. No, as we are in Nigeria now, there's no security. It's only God that secures every one of us now. So we don't rely on government to secure us, but we want them to put more effort on security level so that our life can be secure.
For some others, proper economic growth plan and job creation is the way to go.
Electricity, good roads, we don't have. One of my friends who come from the US was asking me, are we still using this major road? So he left it this way and they come back and meet it this way. Supposed to have alternative. If this road blocked, now there's a problem. There's no other way to alternate.
The small businesses are able to thrive, maybe in terms of ensuring that giving them enough opportunity, to give opportunity to people. Small business should be able to thrive in the country. So that's an aspect really. If you're able to get that one right, I believe that things will improve tremendously.
With the 2022 budget passed and signed, Nigerians are expectant to see things getting better this year. iBrandTV reporting for iBrandTV News. The Office of the Auditor General of the Federation has disclosed that 15 ministries, departments and agencies failed to remit 127.13 billion naira revenue to the Consolidated Revenue Fund between 2017 and 2019. The OAUGF made this known in its 2019 annual report on non-compliance, internal control and weakness issues in MDAs of the Federal Government of Nigeria for the year ended December 31, 2019, which was submitted to the National Assembly. The CRF was created by Section 80, subsection 1 of the 1999 Constitution, which states that, quote, all revenues or other sums of money raised or received by the Federation, not being revenues or other money payable under this Constitution, or any acts of the National Assembly into any other public fund of the Federation established for a specific purpose, shall be paid into and form one consolidated revenue fund of the Federation, end of quote. The report said that Customs had the highest amount of unremitted revenue with 125.8 billion naira, while the Anambra Imo River Basin Development Authority Owerri had the least amount of 5.3 million naira. A closer look at the report shows that the sum of 125.8 billion naira is the aggregate of remittances discrepancies discovered in the records of the NCS in 2017. The price of Brent, the crude against which Nigeria's oil is priced, increased marginally on Monday as the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, projected a slow growth momentum in terms of economic recovery this year. Also, OPEC announced the appointment of its next Secretary General, expected to assume office in August 2022, following the expiration of the second term of Nigeria's Sanusi Bakindo in July. Oil price figures seen in Abuja on Monday showed that the cost of Brent appreciated by 1.12% or $0.87 to $78.65 per barrel as at 5:10 p.m. Nigerian time. It was further observed that price increases were also recorded in oil grades in the OPEC basket and WTI crude on Monday. Crude oil in the OPEC basket rose to $77.97 per barrel, representing 5.04% or $3.74 rise as at 5:10 p.m. when compared to what was posted the previous day.
The Ogun State government has said it is optimistic about meeting and even surpassing its 100 billion naira internally generated revenue target for 2022 because of the numerous innovative ideas already put in place. The State Commissioner for Finance and Chief Economic Advisor to the Governor, Dapo Okubadejo, described the IGR target as realizable. Okubadejo, in an interview with journalists on Monday in Abeokuta, said the government had broadened its revenue base through innovation, provision of infrastructure, and digital transformation initiatives towards the realization of the target. In his words, Ogun government has embarked on a lot of fiscal, economic, and financial management reforms in the areas of fiscal responsibility, debt management, procurement, treasury management, investment promotion, and ease of doing business, amongst others. End of quote. The Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency (NIMASA) has commenced a total digital manifest management regime for oil vessels calling at all Nigerian ports. The physical transactions concerning sailing certificates and cargo manifest processing are being phased out as stakeholders are encouraged to fully embrace the agency's initiative by visiting the NIMASA portal. Director General of the agency, Bashir Jamo, said the automation is aimed at further reducing human interaction, providing efficiency and blocking revenue leakages. Jamo added, and I quote, "In line with the federal government's executive order on ease of doing business, we are committed to improving turnaround time of vessels, reduction of human interface in majority of our transactions with our stakeholders, and this is in our bid to ensure transparency and professionalism that the sector requires to grow." And still to come, Vanguard shares rise as Hong Kong trading resumes. Details and more business update after this break.
Swift Dry Cleaners Limited, professional dry cleaners, best in dry cleaning and laundry services that meets the needs of our consumers. Yeah, Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Yeah, for clean wash and quick delivery. Yeah, Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. Swift Dry Cleaners Limited. For clean wash and quick delivery. Ooh.
Swift Dry Cleaners. Clean wash, quick delivery. Powerful looks command respect, they say. The perfect body, the perfect grooming, and ultimately the perfect skin. Looks, style, and grooming makes the ultimate man. I've found a ridiculously easy way to make my skin always feel epic. My name is Neo. I found Blemiviv, and now my skin finally makes sense.
Oh boy, winning you was so easy.
I just couldn't stand those your powerful shots. That's what happened.
Really? Let's go to my place for dinner.
This fufu is so nice.
It's through unripe plantain flour.
True unripe plantain flour is delicious.
Yes, true unripe plantain flour is what I serve my husband for swallows. It's easy to prepare, fortified with vitamin A, low in sugar and cholesterol, rich in fiber that helps the heart, builds and strengthens the bone, and his energy level is boosted.
Through unripe plantain flour, no additives, 100% natural, a product of Pali Agro Products Nigeria. Through unripe plantain flour, available in all.
Oh boy, winning you was so easy.
I just couldn't stand those your powerful shots. That's what happened.
Really? Let's go to my place for dinner.
This fufu is so nice.
It's through unripe plantain flour.
True unripe plantain flour is delicious.
Yes, true unripe plantain flour is what I serve my husband for swallows. It's easy to prepare, fortified with vitamin A, low in sugar and cholesterol, rich in fiber that helps the heart, builds and strengthens the bone, and his energy level is boosted.
Through unripe plantain flour, no additives, 100% natural, a product of Pali Agro Products Nigeria. Through unripe plantain flour, available in all leading stores nationwide.
Glad to know you're still with us. The Tunisian government on Tuesday, December 28, revealed plans to borrow $7 billion more from foreign lenders and domestic sources to stimulate the country's economy next year. According to the Tunisian Finance Minister, Sihem Boudiri, the 2022 finance law boosts spending by over 3% year-on-year to $19.8 billion. The budget deficit, excluding donations, will be within 9.3 billion dinars. The deficit is expected to hit some 6.7% of gross domestic product. The result is a need for financing, as you know, and is in every year, and the need is estimated at 18.673 billion dinars in addition to a treasury need of 1.310 million dinars. Small business owners in South Africa are beginning to feel the brunt of the surge in coronavirus. Usually, as the Yuletide is approaching, businesses are hopeful to cash in, but it appears the same may not be said about the year, as the season already looked bleak for some businesses. Nelly Palmer, director of Memo Salon, a small business owner who runs a salon, lamented on how appointments reduced due to the coronavirus scare. The case of Nelly is a reflection of most small businesses and even big organizations, not only in South Africa, but also across the world. Nelly is of the opinion that businesses may now have to define other strategies to be able to meet their target. And moving on to the foreign scene, shares in crisis hit Chinese property developer Evergrande rose on Tuesday after they resumed trading in Hong Kong. The heavily indebted firm had suspended its shares on Monday, pending the release of inside information. Evergrande shares jumped as much as 10% before trimming gains to close 1.3% higher. The company said its sales for 2021 plunged 39% from the year before to $69.5 billion. Evergrande also confirmed it had been ordered to demolish 39 buildings on the island of Hainan. The firm said the buildings affected by the demolition order at its Ocean Flower Island project and added the decision does not involve other plots of land in the project. U.S. technology giant Apple has become the first company to hit a stock market valuation of $3 trillion. The firm's share price has risen by around 5,800% since co-founder and former chief executive Steve Jobs unveiled the first iPhone in 2007. However, its value slipped a little from that milestone to end Monday's trading session in New York at $2.99 trillion. Apple has been one of the big winners of the pandemic, as coronavirus lockdown saw spending on gadgets jump. The Knives, an analyst from Wedbush, said hitting $3 trillion is another historical moment for Apple as the company continues to prove the doubters wrong.
Rail passengers are facing cancellations of fewer services as train companies face high levels of staff absences due to COVID. The rail delivery group said almost 1 in 10 rail workers were off. Train companies, including ScotRail, Cross Country, and LNER, have announced reduced timetables and passengers have been warned of cancellations. Alex Hines, boss of ScotRail, said the company had hundreds of staff off work due to having COVID or isolating. He added the company usually operates 2,000 services a day, but it will be reducing this by 160, that is 8% from Tuesday. The rail delivery group said almost 1 in 10 rail workers were off. And coming up now is entertainment business.
Hello and welcome to Entertainment News. I am Chioma Amaribulam. Chinese studios bounced back with force in their home markets, but revenue for imported Hollywood movies remained down by 70% compared to the year before the pandemic. Total movie ticket revenue in the country clocked in at $7.3 billion, more than double 2020's total and down just 26% from a pre-pandemic high of $9.2 billion in 2019, according to data from regional box office tracker Artisan Gateway. For the second year in a row, China ended 2021 as the world's largest theatrical film market. Worse still for the US industry, Hollywood's foothold in China's huge and rapidly recovering marketplace continued to erode over the past year. US movies accounted for just 12% of China's total box office sales, or $899 million, down from a 30% share in 2019, and total sales of $2.8 billion. During much of the China box office boom era of the late 2000s and 2010s, the Hollywood studios saw their revenue grow in China every year, while they commanded an annual market shares as high as 30% to 50%. Moving on, the fast-growing French group adds Paris-based independent group to its stable of production subsidiaries, which now number 20 across 8 countries. Fast-growing French production conglomerate Federation around the world in 80 days has added another company to its stable, signing a deal to take a majority stake in indie French film and TV group Robin & Co. Federation, said on Thursday. Financial terms weren't disclosed. The buyout gives Federation control over the company founded by Jean-Yves Robin in 1998, which itself includes several subsidiaries, including Cult Production, Cult Studio, Cult Story, and Robin Production. Since its founding in 2013, Federation, run by Pascal Breton and Lionel Uzan, has been buying up international production companies in a bid to tap into the global streaming boom and become a major player in original productions. Federation calls the acquisition of Robin & Co. yet another decisive step in the company's growth strategy. And that's it on Entertainment News. I am Chioma Amaribulam.
Thank you, Chioma. And coming up now is sports business.
The value of a NASCAR Cup Series team charter has reached $12 million, doubling last year's asking price of $6 million. Charters, which were implemented in 2016 by executives and team owners, provide teams with increased business certainty and the ability to work in conjunction with NASCAR. The surge in value is the result of increased demand in NASCAR with the introduction of the next-gen car and a revamped business model which promotes cost saving. There are 36 charters in a field of 40 cars that compete in the NASCAR Cup Series. The good and bad NASCAR went from a public company to a private one in 2019 after buying the balance of International Speedway Corporation for roughly $2 billion. And still talking sports business, the NFL's Inspire Change program is well on its way to its 10-year goal of contributing $250 million to social justice-focused organizations. The initiative and the Players Coalition have contributed $180 million to date. In 2017, Inspire Change committed to donate $250 million to organizations focused on education, economic advancement, police community relations, and criminal justice reforms. And still talking sports business, Authentic Brands Group is purchasing a 55% stake in David and Victoria Beckham's DB Ventures for $271 million. DB Ventures controls the soccer stars deals with Tudor Watches and Eiger Whiskey. The company is reportedly looking to pay off debt while generating capital for growth. It has $90 million in total revenue. Beckham repurchased his previously sold stakes from Simon & Fuller's XIX Entertainment for $50 million in 2019, one of his major deals in recent years. Having purchased Reebok for $2.4 billion in August, as well as announcing it would postpone its scheduled IPO until 2023 or 2024 in order to bring in capital from private equity firms, Authentic Brands Group is valued at $12.7 billion. And that's it on Sports Business. I'm Samson Olede.
Thank you, Samson. And this is the end of the business now. Thank you for watching. I am Perpetua Fasami Peter. To enjoy the rest of the day, bye for now.